Hey guys, how's it going? Today Erin and I are working out in the cut flower garden. Our goal is to determine the center of this space. We're going to edge the grass in a circular kind of fashion. We won't be able to get it exact because our grass isn't like fully grown in yet, but we want to start getting a feel for the space. We want to decide if we want a circular like raised bed area in the center or if we want an in-ground planting area and what size of benches to put out here. So this is the space right here. You know that we've got kind of 4 quadrants that we plant our things in, and they're shaped like large rectangles except for on the edges. They come in 13 feet and over 13 feet. And then we're going to have the circle right here. And so that will leave us with kind of like some oddly shaped triangles. Like the 2 sides will be sharp, but this will have kind of a circular swoop.
Yeah,
anyway,
what do you call that?
I don't know.
It's, you know, really the whole area is sort of shaped like a parterre garden.
Yeah.
Except for this part is kind of like the one area that's different because it's got this like, it's not a triangle. I mean, it kind of is a triangle.
It is right now.
But this is going to be, yeah, this will be a swoop.
Right.
I think.
Yeah,
it wouldn't look good to have like, what would that be, an octagon or?
Yeah, to have it straight would look too sharp, but like you want kind of that gentle.
Yeah, because otherwise it would look like an octagon.
Right.
I'm not sure that would look good.
Right. And you know, we put these obelisks out here. These are from Gardener's Supply. I don't even know if they sell this one anymore.
Oh, I think they were saying they're going to bring it back.
Oh, they should.
Bring back like a version of it. It was going to be like a 3-sided version.
I absolutely love these. We've had to tack on extra pieces of wood, I mean, through the years because they do start to deteriorate because of all the weather. We keep them out here all the time. I don't know if that we're going to keep these though. We may end up putting some small trees, like small lollipop crabs or something like that. It kind of depends on what we decide for the center. So our thought is to put a stake right in the center that matches the center of the French doors here. Right about there.
Boom.
We're so exact. And then we're going to run a string and then draw a circle.
Yeah, I think like right about here.
We need a paint gun, don't we?
Oh yeah.
We forgot that.
We can go get it.
We were looking at some benches that were kind of curved, but I don't know that the curve of the benches will match the curve of the circle. So Paul actually made a little cardboard template of the curved bench. So once we get our lines cut, we can lay that cardboard template down to determine if the arches, the circle pattern matches. It would look weird if they don't. Then in that case, we'll probably go with straight benches. Is that
there you go?
Is that
Boom.
centered? Are you sure?
That's the dead center right there, based on my exact eye measurements.
I think we should maybe run a string, just one string to the door at least.
Well, here's the I think is that if we run a string from here, you can kind of like get a sense of how far off you are.
Sure.
And I don't know. I think if you just kind of run a string around, I think it'll make sense.
It's really tough out here because the grass is not filled into the edges, so it looks very wavy. Nothing is very straight, and we never really we did measure out and we put stakes in the ground in the very beginning, but you know, over the years things get like Benjamin's pulled up a couple of them and we pound them back in, and maybe it wasn't quite in the right spot. So yeah, I don't know if it matters to be super exact. Anyway, we just plant some stuff around the edges and it blurs the lines.
Yeah.
We're good to go. We've got our marking paint and our paint gun, and that's the cardboard template for the Windermere curved bench. So let's lay it down and see what it looks like right now.
Okay. See, like this is a really bad example because this looks like a straight line.
Right, it's just so hard to tell.
So that looks like way too curved.
Yeah, it might be. It might be meant for a smaller circle.
But also,
you can't tell from...
You can't tell because the grass is so straight. So it looks off.
Right.
Now, so that we need to cut out the grass to know for sure.
And I'm guessing it's gonna be, we won't even have grass to cut in some of this space unless we decide to bring the circle in.
Right. We may need to be adding a little bit of grass and changing the sprinklers to
hit
go over a little bit.
Okay, so we are going to tie the string to the center stake and just start in. Here we go.
Pray for us.
Yeah, totally.
There.
Yeah.
So I don't really know, how far you can make the circle whatever you want. You can cut out a lot of grass if you want.
You really can, but then you also have to consider how much space do you want to drive for the gator while still having a middle section.
So
maybe we start by painting the biggest circle first and then seeing how much of a circle we can have in the center.
Well, do you want to just pick maybe a little bit of an arbitrary point, like in front of the sprinkler here,
Yeah.
and then just see where that leads us?
Yeah.
Do you want to go here? Like this is, I feel like we should go in a little bit here.
Whatever you think.
Because if we go in,
Yeah, it's going to get significantly.
so it almost needs to come like here.
Right, to accommodate a bench, yeah.
Yeah. So which means that we're going to be cutting out a lot of grass right here
Right
on the
here,
edges.
sure.
So it might, you know, that curved bench might work.
It
Because
might.
of how much you're cutting out here.
Yeah. Do you
Pair
want
of
to
scissors?
tie that to the paint gun? And I'll just cruise around with the paint gun?
Yeah.
We should do this professionally.
Like get paid to do it for other people.
Yeah. Like have a business where we do measurements and such.
Oh, geez. Okay, so
Okay.
let's just pretend.
Okay, let me back up so we can see this.
So look at this. You have to add a little bit of grass here
Right.
and then cut out grass,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
you know, to here.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let's see where this goes.
It kind of matches the curve of the bench.
It
Aaron.
might.
Yeah.
That's funny. Looks like we'd be adding just a tiny bit of grass here and cutting just a little bit out
Uh-huh.
right here, wherever that line is.
You know, I think we could start with that.
Okay.
I
well,
mean,
let's paint it and just see
yeah,
what happens.
right.
Might be easier to walk this way as you paint.
Yeah. Do you want to paint or do you want me to?
You can paint.
Okay. That's a good circle right there. I
Is
think.
it? Does it look good?
Well, looks pretty good to me. I don't know.
Let's put I want to see what the bench looks like. All right, so knowing that this is the line, it still is more curved than the line.
Yeah, it is.
But the question is, if you did a straight bench, that's also not going to be the correct curve.
Although
because it's
this
straight.
might look like you're trying to match the curve and it doesn't quite match. When you
Sure.
do straight, it looks like you're not trying to match a curve.
Yeah,
So
right,
it
that
won't
makes
look,
sense.
you know what I mean? Like, oh, you missed it by that much. Okay, so at this point, now that we have our circle kind of drawn out, we are going to start cutting the sod from around it just to see how it all looks. I'll show you what we're gonna use. It doesn't take any fancy equipment for this part. This is my tool of choice, like the Half Moon shovel. This one is also an edging tool. It's half size though. And then this one helps scoop up grass or scoop up the stuff on the outer part of the line to make a nice deep cut. So when we do an edge like this, like we'll re-edge this. This was kind of a rough line that we did last year. We will cut down and then we scoop out kind of deep right here. It keeps the grass from running into the flower beds as quickly. All right, guys, so it's looking like we have a little bit more of a shape. Yay! So you can see right here, there are two sprinklers. So this one on the right-hand side kind of sprays this grass pathway, and that one right there sprays over here. So it's likely we're gonna have to move this one up a bit so that it's not spraying across, if that makes sense. But you know, all of this is just a little bit, it's gonna have to evolve. It's kind of fluid at the moment because we don't know exactly where these lines are. We decided we're going to wait to cut the grass on the sides just because most of it's not filled in good enough. Like Over here, you can see it's super wavy. And while, you know, we could cut a line in the dirt.
Do you know why that was?
Why?
Because you planted your plants right
Oh,
on the
the
line.
zinnias, yeah, they were totally going over the grass
Yeah.
and blocking the sprinklers. So we'll let them have a chance to fill in a bit. We will paint the lines though today, right? We can paint the lines at least.
Sure.
And then we thought that one of us would get in the gator, and we need to drive around the circle, Aaron, to see how wide of a planting area in the center we can have comfortably.
Sure.
Do you want to drive in the gator, or you want me to?
I'll drive in the gator.
Okay.
Do you want to paint a line first just to see?
I kind of
what
want
you're
to, if you get in the gator and decide where you feel like it's comfortable, then I can get kind of a line with the string, or a length at least.
Okay. There's quite a bit of room.
There really is.
Really.
Which means we could come in with the outer circle too if we wanted to.
I think having it the way it is looks good.
Okay.
Okay, so here I am driving around in a circle.
Okay.
It's quite a bit of space.
Yeah, okay. So this
give you
middle
an idea?
circle, it could come out like, what do you think, like right in here?
Yes.
That's a pretty
Generous?
wide circle.
Okay, now let me drive around it. Oh, there's tons of room.
That's good. I want it to not feel neck down.
Yeah.
I want it to feel comfortable. That looks comfortable. But that also, the size of the circle looks like it's appropriate.
Okay, let's
You're gonna-
pretend that I gotta do something real fast.
Okay.
On the other end.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't make it.
Nope, you didn't.
Let me try again.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go to the other side. Yeah, I think this is gonna be perfect, you guys. I think it needs to be this big.
It looks in the center to me too.
Does it?
Yeah,
Good enough for us.
good enough.
So what we're gonna do next is paint the lines on the side just so we can have a feel for that. And then, do you think we should haul one of the Hartley benches over here just to see what a straight bench looks
Oh
like?
yeah, that's such a good idea. Why didn't
Yeah.
we think of that?
Well, it's not as wide as we would probably want it, but I think
Sure.
it'd give us a good idea for what a straight bench might look like. I like it.
I think a 6 foot.
Yeah, so
Is what
this
we
is a
need.
5 foot, you guys. 5 foot straight. What is this, the Monarch?
Or
Er,
is this the Windermere? This is the Monarch.
this is a Monarch, yeah.
And we're looking at the,
The Windermere was the curved one.
well, but there's a straight Windermere too.
Is there?
Yeah.
Well,
we'll have to figure out which one
yeah,
we want.
Yeah, but I think going straight is a good idea. And what we were just talking about just now, because we thought initially we might put a couple of big pots on either side, but I think putting a couple of cone boxwoods just to anchor this space in the wintertime especially might look nice. And you thought so too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it'll look really good too to replace these with
With a small tree.
A small tree.
Like the sparkling Sprite crabapple that I just bought that grows 12 by 12.
Yeah.
I could get 3 more. What?
What?
Yeah. The thing is, if we put pots out here on either side of the bench, I feel like in the wintertime, unless you had an evergreen in the pot, it would look a little bit like too much stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Junk.
It's not junk because it's all pretty stuff, but yeah, too much junk. It's too much stuff in one spot. And I feel like if you've got a really beautiful bench and you've got a fountain in the center, which is kind of what we're thinking, we need something to ground the area. We need some evergreen interest that's out here.
You know what you could
solid.
do?
What?
You could plant boxwoods all along the perimeter, and then you could have pots, because then you'll have winter interest out here all the time.
Don't tempt me. We talked about that, remember?
Did we?
Yeah, in the beginning. And
Oh,
we
I
were
think
like,
when we decided that it would be too hard to get a tractor in and out if we had, well,
tractor.
impossible.
Yeah, to get in and out. Also, the amount of maintenance as well.
Yeah.
8 cone boxwoods versus a whole entire boxwood hedge. A lot easier. I think that'll look really pretty. And then imagine that in the winter, Aaron, seeing
Yeah.
those boxwoods out here
And the fountain.
and the fountain. Oh, it's gonna be nice.
Yeah, you could, are you thinking maybe like ringing the fountain with boxwoods?
Not necessarily. Just grass right up to it so the kids can sit on the edge.
Well, this is a massive fountain.
I know. It's gotta be. It's
Does
gotta be
it?
big. This is a huge open area.
Yeah.
It's gotta be big or else it'll look too scant, too like dainty for the spot.
Sure.
You know, the one at Andrews I think is a 12.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Might be a 10. Possibly an 8.
All right.
I
Well,
can't remember.
Should we pull this up or leave it here?
I think maybe, oh, we didn't look for the pins out there. Shoot, you grabbed an extra one though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I hope you guys can see the lines well enough. We were able to do all of the straight runs except for one because the Dahlia T-posts are kind of in the way, so we couldn't get it quite straight, but we did put pins where the 15-foot mark was on the openings because that's the width of all the grass pathways. So orange line right here. You can see the orange line right here. You can see where my flowers were taking over, flopping over the edge, and that's why it didn't take. So all of the runs up to the center are 15 feet wide, and then around, did we determine it was what, 12 feet?
Yeah, this is 12 feet.
About, yeah. So we may have to adjust a couple sprinklers over here because, let's see, there was one or two that were just kind of in a little bit. I don't even know that that's gonna matter that much.
This one's off.
There's one off up there.
Yeah.
Also, look at this, you guys. As we were painting the straights, I thought, well, maybe we should have done that before we started cutting. We were only off on one. Look at how right on we were here. So proud of us. The only one, let's see this one over here. We just need to take a tiny sliver out for it to match.
We need to put a little bit more dirt back right here.
Oh, sure.
And then there's two sprinklers here. This one sprays this here.
Uh-huh.
This will probably, sprinkler need to get moved to here in the corner.
Uh-huh.
And then this one will need to get moved over here, or maybe moved over to here.
It's kind of nice that they're both in one spot. Like just do one big hole and change them.
Yeah, I don't really know why they couldn't have just one sprinkler that went like a, I don't know, not like a full circle, but just a little bit less than a full circle.
I don't know about sprinklers enough, but
I don't either.
I feel like these are a little bit too far in too. You can see this one
Yeah.
right here is in about a foot. But all of it's totally fixable, and all of it with the overspray and stuff and our drip lines and everything, it probably would be fine.
Well, this will need to get moved.
Right. All of
here.
this, so all of our rows that were butted up to the edge, they'll be moved in several feet.
I almost wonder if you should just eliminate this row.
Probably.
Because if you have stuff that is over here that grows to here, you might even want, this much space to walk.
Right.
Not, I mean, you can walk on the grass too, but then you can keep a nice tidy edge with the grass.
Right.
And you're never worrying about things spilling over.
Right.
This is pretty right on.
Yeah, all of those. All of those sprinklers were right on the edge.
Nice.
It's just that I had my plants too close to them last year. I didn't think we would actually get to the seeding of this, so I didn't really worry too much about where I was planting stuff. So this right here is where we couldn't mark because these are out a little bit too far, so it was kind of making the line not right over here either. So we'll do that later. But I am so happy with what we were able to kind of nail down today, and it takes that time of getting out and eyeballing, in our case pretty much eyeballing things, measuring things a little bit, painting out lines, living with it for a little while before you make decisions on what you want to buy, and then maybe even like plopping a bench out here just to see if it's the right scale or if you need something bigger, smaller, differently shaped. So now we know how to proceed. We know what benches we want out here. We
just need to figure out if it's the Windermere or the Monarch.
Yeah, well, that's pretty easy.
One of the two.
Easy choice, I think. And then we will start probably shopping for fountain options or something like that. It could be that this year we cut the sod out and we plant here. That might be what we do until we find the right piece, or if we decide to do something more in ground.
One thing we will have to do for sure in this area is put a pad. Whatever fountain you decide, we'll need to do the pad first.
Right.
Because this is sloped ever so slightly. This is farther down, this is higher up.
Sure.
So we'll need to make sure we have a level concrete pad, which won't be a big deal because we know exactly, a lot of times you don't know where you want to place it. But here it's like, well, it has to be in the center. Right. So there's really no getting around that.
And you guys, that is it for today's project. Not a whole lot to see, but a whole lot of progress out here. And it was something that we needed to do. And it's kind of been weighing on us. We've been talking about it, and we knew we wanted to really kind of button up this area a little bit more this year and kind of fine tune some of the, well, the lines out here and really just figure it out. So it feels really good. Anyway, we're going to go enjoy the rest of the day and do the rest of our plant chores. It's warming up so much. It got close to 90 degrees in the greenhouse yesterday, and I had doors open and fans running, and things are starting to literally heat up. So anyway, we're enjoying it a lot. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.